Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Today we're looking at Pewit Technologies. The big question is it a good time to buy now?
We want to hear from you. Subscribe, like, and comment to support the show. And if there's a specific company you want us to look into, leave it in the comments below.
So let's get into the analysis, because there's a lot going on with Pewit. It's quite the story lately.
It really is. Maybe we should start with the basics. For anyone new to the name, what exactly does Pewit Technologies do? It's not your standard chip company.
No, definitely not. They're all about the plumbing, you could say, for future tech. Their core thing is what they call the optical interposer platform.
Okay, optical interposer. Sounds complex.
It is, but the idea is pretty powerful. Think about data centers, AI. They need to move enormous amounts of data super fast. Electronics, traditional silicon, struggle with that at scale.
Right. They get hot, they use power, they hit bottlenecks.
Exactly. Photonics using light to move data is way faster and more efficient. The problem is getting light signals and electronic signals to work together smoothly on the same chip.
Ah, so they don't naturally play well together.
Not easily. That's where the optical interposer comes in. It acts like a bridge, basically. It allows seamless integration of the photonics and the electronics.
Okay, so it connects the light speed with the processing power. And that's valuable for data centers, .ai.
Precisely. Especially for AI training clusters and those massive hyperscale data centers, they need that next level speed and efficiency, and Pewit's tech is seen by many as, well, potentially a key piece of that puzzle.
And that potential seems to be hitting the market's radar now, doesn't it? Because the amount of positive news recently is kind of staggering.
It really is. It feels like they're moving from just R&D promise to actual commercial traction. That's what's fueling a lot of this interest.
Let's tick off some specifics from the sources. October 2025, they closed a huge private placement, right?
Yeah, $75 million, their largest ever. That's serious capital.
$75 million. What does that signal? Is it just keeping the lights on, or is it growth money?
It's definitely growth money. It strengthens their cash position significantly, gives them that crucial runway they need to actually scale up production and deliver on these new opportunities. The market saw it as a big confidence vote.
And it wasn't just funding news. They actually announced a big production order, too.
That's right. Alongside the funding, an order over $5 million for their 800G optical engines, Pewit Infinity, they call them. That's real product going to a real systems integrator.
Okay, so money in, orders confirmed. What else? There was an award.
Yep, back in September, they won Most Innovative at EcoC 2025. That's a major European optical communications conference. So industry validation, important stuff.
And partnerships. I saw notes on Sivers Semiconductors and Semtech.
Correct. Collaborating with Sivers for external light sources, that's a key component. And launching 1.6 terabit optical receiver solutions with Semtech. These aren't small deals. They plug Pewit into the wider ecosystem for AI networking.
It feels like they're building the connections they need. And what about that move with the stock exchanges? Delisting from the TSX venture.
Yeah, the plan is to focus just on the Nasdaq listing. That's all about getting better access for global investors, especially the big U.S. funds. More liquidity, more visibility. It signals they're aiming for the big leagues.
Okay, so technologically exciting, lots of recent wins, strategic moves. Sounds incredibly bullish.
It sounds bullish, and that's the narrative driving the stock, no doubt.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
There's a massive but here. When you switch from the press releases to the actual financial statements, well, the picture changes dramatically.
This is the other side of the coin we need to really unpack, the fundamental risks.
Exactly, because despite the tech promise, this is still fundamentally a high-risk, high-reward situation. Let's look at the numbers. Revenue, for instance.
Okay. What are the sources saying about revenue?
It's stark. A massive contraction. Over the last year reported, revenue dropped 91.1%.
Whoa, wait. 91% drop. From what to what?
From about $465,000 in 2023 down to just over $41,000 in 2024.
$41,000 in revenue. With all this advanced tech, how? How does that happen? Did they just stop selling everything else to focus on the interposer?
That seems to be the most likely interpretation, yes. It suggests they basically bet the farm on this pivot to the optical interposer for the AI market, letting older, smaller revenue streams die off. It underscores how critical these new AI contracts are. There's no safety net.
Okay, betting the farm. So what's the cost? What about profitability? Losses?
Oh, the losses are significant. For the trailing 12 months, a net loss of almost $54 million.
$54 million loss on 41,000 revenue.
Yeah. The EPS, earnings per share, is negative $0.73. Profit margins are deep in the red. It highlights the cash burn.
Quite a burn rate. So they have the tech, but they're just hemorrhaging cash trying to get it commercialized.
That's the situation. Now, the balance sheet isn't described as immediately dangerous. Modest but not risky is the phrase in the sources. They don't have huge debt loads, thanks to past funding rounds.
And that $75 million placement helps there, obviously.
Critically, without it, things would look much worse. But even with it, they aren't generating free cash flow. They still depend on outside capital to operate.
So the fundamental picture is weak, despite the tech promise. How does Wall Street square this analyst coverage?
It's sparse, which isn't unusual for a company at this stage, but what is out there tends to lean bullish. One major aggregator has it as a strong buy.
Okay, a strong buy rating. But I saw something interesting about the price targets in the notes.
Ah, yes. This is a key point of confusion, isn't it? The average analyst price target is around $6.25.
Right, but the stock's been trading well above that recently, around $8.39. How does that work? Strong buy, but the price is already way over the target.
It tells you the current price isn't based on current fundamentals or even near-term analyst projections. It's being driven purely by technical momentum and hope for the future. Hope that those new orders completely change the financial story, and fast.
Okay, so let's talk about that technical momentum then, because the charts do look strong.
They really do. That's the bullish case in the short term. The stock's been in a structurally bullish trend since mid-2025. It's trading comfortably above its key moving averages.
What are those levels again?
The 50-day simple moving average is around $6.06, and the 200-day is lower, around $5.02. With the price up near $8.39, that's a clear uptrend.
And the indicators, MAD, RSI.
The MESD, which measures momentum, is showing an active buy signal, and the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is around 60.
60 is strong, but not necessarily overbought yet, right? Usually 70 or 80 is where you worry.
Exactly. It suggests there could still be room to run before it gets overheated, technically speaking. Strong momentum, but maybe not exhausted.
What about volatility? I saw a high number there.
Yeah, volatility's up around 19%. That's high. Typical for these kinds of growth stories. For conservative investors, that's scary. For traders looking to play catalysts, high volatility means opportunity.
And who's buying? Is it just retail excitement or is bigger money involved?
That's another bullish point from the sources. Reports suggest institutional investors, even pension funds, have been taking positions. That's often seen as a longer-term validation. Retail sentiment is also generally bullish, looking at forum chatter and the like.
So institutions are stepping in. But even with strong technicals and positive sentiment, we come back to the fundamentals, don't we? The execution risk.
Absolutely. That's the crux of it. They're in a super competitive field, lots of big players. PO has to prove they can not only make the tech work, but also scale it up profitably, quickly.
All the chart signals in the world don't matter if the company can't actually turn those orders into sustainable profits down the line.
Precisely. The question has shifted. It's not, is the tech good anymore? It's, can they execute and make money from it? That's the core investment decision you have to weigh.
Okay, so looking ahead, what are the key things investors should be watching? The catalyst that could move the needle?
The big one, near term, is Q3 earnings. That's scheduled for November 11th.
What will people be looking for in that report? Just the headline number.
Not just the headline. They'll be laser focused on sequential revenue growth. Are those new orders starting to show up? What are the adoption rates looking like for the AI solutions? And crucially, margins. Are they improving? Is there any sign of a path to profitability?
So good numbers there could fuel the rally. Bad numbers could trigger a pullback.
A significant one, potentially. It's a major proving ground. Beyond earnings, there are other dates. ETF rebalancing on November 27th.
How does that impact things?
Well, if POET gets included in relevant tech or semiconductor ETFs, it forces those funds to buy the stock, which can provide support and increase visibility. Then there's an institutional buys review noted for January 15th, 2026, basically, when funds disclose their holdings. Seeing more big names come in could also boost sentiment.
Right. Those provide potential stability or buying pressure. Now, what about the rumors? The really speculative stuff.
Okay, yeah. We absolutely have to stress these are rumors, unconfirmed, mostly from places like StockTwits, Reddit, zero official word. Treat them with extreme caution.
Understood. Huge grain of salt needed.
Yeah.
But what's the chatter?
The big one is a potential partnership with a top-tier hyperscaler. You know, one of the giant U.S. cloud providers building out massive AI infrastructure.
Wow. A deal like that would be game-changing.
Completely. It would validate the tech at the highest level, provide massive volume, and pretty much erase the execution risk concerns overnight. It's the dream scenario, which is why the rumor has legs, even unconfirmed.
Any other major rumors floating around?
Some talk about strategic acquisitions, either Poet buying someone smaller to accelerate their roadmap, or maybe Poet itself becoming a takeover target for a larger player wanting their integrated photonics tech. Again, pure speculation.
But if any of that proved true,
The stock reaction would likely be immediate and significant, but you're betting on whispers at that point.
okay, so let's try and tie this all together. Based on everything in the sources, the tech, the wins, the financials, the charts, the risks, what's the overall take?
The sources lean towards a strongly bullish rating overall, something like an 8 out of 10. The reasoning is pinned on that technological edge, the clear technical momentum on the chart, positive sentiment, upcoming catalysts, and the sheer size of the market opportunity in AI and data centers.
An 8 out of 10. That sounds confident.
It's confident in the potential, but it comes with a giant asterisk, high risk. It's attractive for short-term traders playing the news flow and catalysts. It's also potentially attractive for long-term investors betting on that fundamental tech shift.
But that risk,
That risk is everything. Until that awful revenue trend reverses sharply, until they show they can operate without constantly needing more cash, and until those profit margins turn positive, it remains speculative. It all hinges on successfully turning those recent wins into actual sustainable financial performance.
which really frames the key question for anyone considering the stock, doesn't it? We know the AI revolution needs this kind of technology. The demand is undeniable. Does that massive demand ultimately save a company like Poet with its innovative tech, even if the balance sheet looks weak right now? Or could they simply run out of time and money before they truly scale?
That's the million-dollar or perhaps billion-dollar question, isn't it? Tech edge versus cash flow reality. That's the tension you're investing in here.